you can support conservatives with conservative values, and conservatives can support liberals with liberal values. It doesn't mean you have to switch. It doesn't mean that you have to end up doing the thing that the other person is doing. It's just let them do their thing. Again, as long as you're not hurting somebody, like, why the fuck do you care?
Could you imagine if we didn't have the boxes of the parties?
Oh my God. Yes.
I mean, if somebody could be an independent. This would be my, how I lean politically. My dream would be like somebody who is a little more fiscally conservative and a little more socially liberal. And there'd be a pick of the litter of candidates where they're each interesting and they each have maybe, their unique set of ideas or values. But it wouldn't have to be, tied to a party the same way that, if you grow up in a crazy religion, you're tied to that religious group,
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're running as president, you should have to pick somebody from the opposite party as your vice president. I think if you're going,
I love that.
running as a Democrat, you should be forced to pick a Republican as your running mate and vice versa.
Right.
You motherfuckers got to work together.
Right. I like that idea. I mean,
sit you down and treat you like children, because that's how you're acting. Like, sit down and fucking figure it out for the people that are making sure that you have your cushy positions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one fucked up thing, man. I feel like I hope your editing is very good to make this all seem happier than it is. But
shit. This is all wrong.
Okay. That's not good.
It's beautiful.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah. Well, I know what's annoying about one of many things that are annoying about like the presidential election and even like the higher level elections is that we choose. We choose between the candidates. We do, but I mean the candidates are weeded out through this whole process, and there's so much money in that process. So like when you get to the final stage, it's like, well, you get this or this, but in reality, your local, I'm as guilty as anybody, but your local government, your town, your school board, that's where you can make a difference. You can make a immediate impact. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing a lot more people start to understand that. Right. And it's because I have been talking to some people that are, they're talking the same way. It's just like, ooh, how can I get them more involved in like the local level and stuff like that? And it's like, these are good things that are starting to happen, because like this change that is coming is and is happening right now, I believe is going to take a long time. It's a little bit of what we were talking about earlier, the generational thing, man. Like, we can figure out how to bridge the gap between generations, because it's like you see it everywhere. It's just like night shift and day shift at a job. Like they'll clap like, oh, night shift didn't set us up and all this. But it's just like anytime like there's a different group, it's just like you look at that other group and you're like, fuck you. And it's just like, if we could stop that mentality and just be like, well, what can we learn from each other and what can we teach each other?
Yeah, dude, you well encapsulated it. Yeah, and it's on both sides of the political aisle, and it's also generational. It's all that stuff.
Yeah, and to each generation's credit, and this is not my idea. I've seen it talked about before. Is each generation is the most progressive generation to come. It's just how it works. It's and the sooner that we figure out how to work together between generations, the easier it's going to be. It's like, man, I don't feel like I'm being ageist here. If somebody feels like I'm being ageist, check me on it. But wouldn't the older generation want the younger generation to do a bunch of shit so they didn't have to? Like, you've lived a lot of life. Like, relax. Like, let the young people just do their support them, like positively support them, and just like watch their imagination grow, watch how they can make your life easier as well, and you could even connect with them even better because of it. Like, this is how this shit can work, but it's oh man, it's gonna be messy as fuck trying to get there.